Gene Slade is the Weldon Long from Timu.
I love Weldon Long. I'm cool with being polarizing. I need the haters. Y'all are loud. I need 100,000 more. I'm just gonna go straight for the juggler here because everybody else does.
Is Gene Slade an HVAC villain or an HVAC genius?
I'm neither. I am truly.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle Podcast. And today, I have Gene Slade on. How you doing, Gene?
How do you think I'm doing, man? I'm great. If I was any better, I'd have to be twins just to handle it.
All right, I like that. So I'm going to start with just a couple minutes of your background. What made Gene Slade who he is today?
Hardship, trial, tribulation, all that, man. Still going through it every single day. But if you want the quick 30,000 foot backstory, I was 11 years old. My father decided to start his own HVAC company, and it was in Michigan, and he needed a helper to go in the crawl spaces. So he said, boy, if you want food, you want clothes, come to work. So I did. I worked for him. I worked for my uncle who had a plumbing company. At around 15, I was a qualified lead installer. So we hired a 21-year-old to drive me around, and I led installs. 19, I became a installation foreman for a mechanical shop. And then at 21, I got into sales. I was tired of watching the guys who were selling the stuff who knew less than I did, making all the money. And so I was like, I need to get a sales job. We do apologize for the green screen. Try to figure that out right now. But at the end of the day, I ended up getting a sales job, fell in love with that, and fell in love with the fact that I could actually help people at the same time as making good money. And the rest is history. I ended up selling over $1 million, like 1.25 million, my third year. And that was about 25 years ago. And since then, I've been teaching other salespeople, building businesses, helping people exit businesses, things like that. So I'm touted as the number one IAQ and water treatment sales guy in the country. So, and then obviously we can sell systems too. That's the easy part.
How do you perceive yourself in the industry?
Polarizing. In a word.
Okay. What do you make of the memes and people roasting you in Facebook groups?
I love it. I mean, I couldn't buy that kind of publicity. And, I've got some people that I follow who are way, way bigger than me, who've had way more hate than I have ever had. And they helped prepare me for the hockey stick moment, right? The moment where you come up against so much adversity that as long as you can push through it, that's when things go sky high. So, I know my heart. The people that have been through my training, have been through my classes, know my heart. They get to see it. I wear it on my sleeve. And when I am on stage, my team has let's just put it this way. Their task is to find the things that are polarizing and to edit for polarization. And so people don't always get the entire context. But what I do know is that if I don't have your attention, I definitely don't have your business. And Grant Cardone taught me that my biggest challenge or my biggest problem as a salesperson or a businessman is obscurity. What does obscurity mean?
It means no one knows about you.
Yeah. So look, I started posting 3 Facebook reels a day into the most savage HVAC groups that were out there, knowing that I was going to get ripped to shreds. But would you believe that 10,000 or more people have come from those Facebook groups, out of those Facebook groups, into my following, into Instagram, into all kinds of other places, and they've done all kinds of business with me. We've been able to have massive impacts on their lives. So I'm cool with being polarizing. I need the haters. Y'all are loud. I need 100,000 more to get where I want to go, to help the people inside of my business to be able to make our dream, the company's dream, big enough for everybody else's dream to fit inside of.
You said polarizing. You believe you're polarizing. Why do you think it's so polarizing?
Because we talk. I'm just gonna go straight for the juggler here because everybody else does. I think there are a lot of people in the trades who are getting left behind, and they're sour about it. They're upset about it. They got into the trades, and I totally get it, because they got into the trades to turn a wrench to fix shit, like my dad did. My dad didn't want to become a salesperson. He wanted to fix stuff. He wanted to help people, right? And then all these guys got into this field wanting to fix shit, and then their boss came to them and said, "No, dude, you got to sell shit." And then they didn't teach them how to sell shit. And they expected them to know how to. They had some manufacturer's reps come in and give them some speech about how a product worked. And then they said, "You guys go and sell it." It falls on the backs of us as owners for not educating our people, for not showing them how to get the client to actually want things, for not coming up with like pre-planned presentations for them. Are you serious? You're out there whipping the freaking cracking the whip on your people, telling them to go sell these HEPA filters or UV lights or whatever it is, and then you don't prepare them, and then you blame them. Shame on us as owners. Shame on us. So again, I'm willing to step out there, and I'm willing to say things that other people wouldn't say in order to get the attention that we need to get, in order to make the impact that we need to make in this industry. And I want to irritate the guys who think that they're going to be able to retire making $35 an hour right now. Dog, you got to get your communication skills up. The world has changed. Okay, the world is different than it used to be. You'll only ever be worth $35-40 an hour with your hands. And if you ever want to get from behind that wheel, not die behind that wheel in that service van, you got to come over to the light side and figure out that sales is not something you do to people. It's something that you do for them. And so if I got to shake the bushes and get your attention with some polarizing reels, I'll take all the heat. Let's go.
Hook Agency has been phenomenal to work with.
And most importantly, they've gotten good results.
They're personal. You can reach out, you can call them, you can talk to them.
So they're searching for us. They're looking, they're trying to figure out, are we a legitimate company? A great website is the virtual handshake of that company. Even just from last year to this year, the biggest differences we've made have been through Hook, and we've noticed a huge jump in just continuing to grow, which has been awesome.
Each team member I've dealt with has been awesome. Skylar's awesome in pay-per-click. Dylan is awesome in his SEO and everything. And everybody, the onboarding team, everybody else who I've interacted with has been great, been very helpful. And most importantly, they've gotten good results.
Let's talk about a couple of those polarizing reels for a second. The 4 quarters method. Did you... and then you had the other one, which was that beards are basically less professional and you should shave them. Yeah. They stir debate in HVAC, right? Are you intentionally provocative with those messages? Like you said that they get intentionally edited for polarizing.
Those ones didn't.
But do you believe that you believe those things? Like as far as the beard thing, you'd stand behind that?
I truly, truly would stand behind these statements right here. Number 1, I did not keep a beard until I became a millionaire. Okay? Because I was advised by mentors who made 10 to 100 times more than me that I shouldn't. Okay. So I stand by that. And I also stand by that if you're going to keep a beard, that it needs to be shaped daily, that you need to take care of it, that you should care about your appearance. And if I was going to keep one, you'd be able to see the skin through it. I would keep it daily. And here's what I find. A lot of these fuckers look like they've got a bunch of pubic hair hanging from their chin, and it's not attractive. Okay, it might be attractive to 2 out of 100 ladies, but the rest of them are thinking, ooh, gross. Okay, so stop thinking that your scraggly whatever is going to make you sales. It's not. It's standing in the way. All right, you want to keep a beard? Fan-frickin-tastic. Shape it, keep it up daily, just like somebody who has got to be clean shaven keeps it up daily. That's how I feel, man. That's what I stand behind.
So you got a couple people like do like reactions to your reels, giving them even more visibility, sometimes even more than the original. The 4/4 method, you saw the reaction to that, right? Like, what would be your response to that? I know you may have already done this publicly somehow, but what is your response to the people that say that's not a good method or it's cheesy?
I didn't see those comments.
Okay.
Right. Like, you guys think that I'm watching through. Listen, you guys have gotten so crazy on my feed that I don't even go into the notifications hardly at all, except to see keywords that I might be posting for certain ads, like April, which is for our next event. Yeah. So, like, it's gotten to a point where I have to have a team that has got a playbook on how to go through and how to respond to this stuff so that we continue to pump the algorithm. So you guys are not affecting me at all. I could care less. But here's what I would say. That was created when I was in a position with a client one time who really, truly needed a Breathe Easy package. She needed, and they'll give me shit for this, an air scrubber, for lack of better terms, right? Some people go, oh, this shit doesn't work. Okay, that's fine. That's why they'll sell over 1 billion ultraviolet lights this year. Okay, they're manufacturing for no reason. But where was I going with this shit? Sorry, I lose my train of thought sometimes.
Breathe Easy package with the 4/4.
Yes, the 4/4. So I was at a lady's house. She just had a brand new system installed. My guys did not sell her a air scrubber system, and there was evidence that she had biological growth in the system, which meant that she had it in the ductwork. And at the end of the day, if it's in the ductwork, the moment we fire that system up, it recontaminates everything. And wouldn't it be great if she had something like that? And she was like, listen, I ain't got the cash. And I'm like, okay, no problem. On a weekly basis, what do you think you could afford and still put syrup on the pancakes? 20, 30 bucks a week? And she's like, no. And I kept reducing it. I finally got down to what was going to be $7 a week. And I know that for $7 a week, I could get her about $1,600 worth of air cleaning equipment. So I just said in my head, because I'm fast with math, could you afford $1 a day? Could you? And I reached in my pocket and I grabbed 4/4 and I held them in my hand. I said, could you afford $1 a day for you to have clean, fresh, healthy indoor air, for you to have a system that's more reliable, not have to worry about this anymore? And she goes, of course. And I went, okay, great. And so I started teaching my guys to do it. And whenever it ran into a situation where somebody couldn't see how they can afford it. See, this is where people are missing out. You ready? 60% of the United States doesn't have $600 in their savings accounts. And you guys are out there asking them for $2,400. They can't see how they can afford it. So that's why I have to teach you guys these techniques, because some of you are smart enough and some of you are too stupid to get out of your own way and listen to somebody like me. And there you go. There's another polarizing thing. I'm going crazy today.
Well, I'm trying to understand if you're building in intentionally provocative ideas to engage the audience, or if it comes out of like you genuinely is a byproduct of your candid style.
No, it's a byproduct of just me being fed up with certain things. I mean, look, dude, I've been at this a long time. I'm 47 years old now. I've been in this trade for 36 years. I've seen a lot of stuff. I know I'm not that old, right? But I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of things come and go. I have educated myself in a way that most will never have educated themselves. Most people have never operated infiltrometers, blower doors. I have. It was my first job. Most people have never operated Honeywell analysis equipment. I was one of 7 people in the state of Florida that had that technology at one point. I've done everything from cleaning the toilets to managing the marketing to building the businesses to exiting and scaling them for 8 figures. I mean, like, I've just done all of that stuff, and I get so fed up sometimes with the stupidity that plagues our industry. And I want to bring new people, fresh blood, fresh life into it. I had more success in my company bringing new people in than trying to change old people's ideas. And I think some people need to get the hell out, and we need to bring some new people in. And I would love to salvage and save as much of the knowledge that we have in this industry from the guys that I would call old timers. I'm about ready to be considered one of those, right? In my opinion, I want the 55s, the 60, the 65-year-old guys who really got that mindset for the technical side to be around here. And they're not going to be around. They're going to be dinosaurs. Skeletons are going to be pushed right the fuck out if they don't learn how to communicate. And it just doesn't take that long. They can learn it faster than it took you to learn your technical skills by like 20 times. If you just trust somebody to help you, and it doesn't have to be me. There are plenty of other people out there that can help you. Otherwise, our industry is in trouble.
I appreciate that. You know, you mentioned that you don't always sort through all the hate comments and stuff like that. Just to give you some sense, like, I just saw one of my reels. I was looking back through this today. I was just looking in HVAC for life.
Right.
And I was looking through, just kind of looking for some examples, because I was kind of like trying to I'm trying to understand this culture. I'm literally just a journalist, like peering into a new industry, because I'm traditionally from roofing and I'm coming over to HVAC a couple of years now, but still I'm fairly new. And I saw one of our reels in there, and it was getting roasted to hell.
Yeah, and
so
you're
I'm
in there
not
trying to rip people off, aren't you?
Yeah,
I mean, because that's good
case,
business, and that gets us more business, and that's how we've both been in business for a while. Crazy.
Yeah, people in general, and this was like a sales tip reel. It was a different sales trainer, but it was one of our reels, and it was like basically anything to do with sales in some of these groups gets just ripped from head to toe. Is there anything that, and I'm not saying that you think about HVAC for life or any of these groups that often, but from your understanding of the culture of HVAC technicians, is there anything that is accepted as sales in these groups? Like, what do dyed in the wool HVAC techs actually accept from sales? Because obviously money has to change hands at some point.
I think some of them forget that a salesperson had to make a sale, and a marketer had to make a sale, and a CSR had to make a sale before they got there. And that's the sad truth. What is acceptable? I mean, I don't know. I think that maybe some people want specific groups to be for specific things, like putting pornographic pictures out there and degrading people, and talking about pedophilia, and talking renaming people's spouses their moms, and then creating groups about how they banged Slade's mom. Oh, did I say that? I mean, like, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And so, look, I don't know, like, if I asked myself what's happened there, it breaks my heart, because I believe that each and every one of those people, like 90% of them, I would say, are hurting really, really badly. I believe that they had dreams at one time, and I feel like things happened in their lives. They were told no so many times. I think that some of them gave up on their dreams, because I don't see people who are reaching for dreams who are miserable. And I'm afraid that some of them can't see, like sometimes our clients can't see how they can afford to do business with us. I think that some of them can't see how it's possible anymore to achieve those dreams. I think they've lost hope. And I relate to that because that's why I didn't want to start my own HVAC company. I had watched my father be in business for 8 years, and I watched him struggle. I mean, struggle. As most of you probably heard in your households, the most common phrase in our household was, I can't afford it. We can't afford it. Mommy, I want this. Daddy, I would like this. We can't afford it. And that was what drove me as a very, very young child to become an entrepreneur. Like I was doing entrepreneurial stuff since the age of like 9 years old, trying to find out how could I make more money for our family and make more money so that I could do the things that I wanted. And I think that we get knocked down in life. And I think so many of us have gotten knocked down so many times and we don't have somebody there for us. And I think that there's so many fucking absent fathers nowadays that are not there for their kids, that can't set an example for their kids. Like it's not exclusive to our industries, guys. This is a world problem, right? And this is part of what we seek to help with at my company. Everybody on my team is constantly trying to help pull people from the depths of fucking hell or poverty out of it. And we're very successful doing it. We've pulled person after person from homelessness to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in income by helping people. People from prison who spent the majority of their life in prison, who are now making $400,000-$500,000 a year ethically, honestly, legally. Like, people have given up, dog. I'm sorry.
So, no, it's good. It's deep. And I want to dive a little bit more into that in a second. But first, I want to kind of go into when you are personally engaged, because sometimes you're having your team engage with this stuff. And I'm really trying to talk about the Thomas Pears of the world. You just had steak with them. And other there's, I think, Eaton Herdick is one of the guys that talks in a lot of, there's a couple of these other.
There's a William Max, maybe.
There's a couple people that I'm like, is that a real person? I don't think Eaton Herdick is a real person, but there's a couple guys in these groups that post a lot, like too much probably, but that's another question. Oh, Stephen Short is a different one.
Stephen Short's a different thing. Stephen Short's probably, they're treating him more like they treat me.
Yeah. So I like, it's a whole culture, right? Stephen Short has got, like, he does like modeling pictures in these groups every once in a while, and people just roast him to hell as well. But it's a whole culture, which I personally, Gene, I kind of enjoy. I'm probably on the internet too much, and I kind of like it.
Dude, I get some laughs, man. I get some really real laughs because I've gotten past the point where it hurts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep going.
But it probably does actually hurt your feelings a bit sometimes.
It doesn't anymore. But I'll tell you, for the first 10 years, it was tough. It was really tough. And I had to have a lot of support in order to be able to keep pushing through. And if you don't continue to push through, you don't deserve the success that comes on the other side of it.
And in these, it feels like a fever pitch recently where people have been memeing you and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to dig in your wounds.
There are none, man. Listen, they can't hurt me. That's what I'm trying to say. So dig as deep as you want.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, like, what do you do? Like, I know it's good for business, but what is your real response to some of those? Like, real response. Like, if you like, I know you've seen some of it. So what would, like, and I without going on an ad hominem attack of these people, what would you say to them? Because I bet you a couple of them are watching now, because I'm sure we came up with a spicy title and a crazy thumbnail for this video. Sure. Right? So a bunch of these people are watching it because they're curious about you. Like, if you wanted to engage them personally for real, like, and you were talking to them, because what did you say to Thomas Pears? Because you guys have been kind of battling a little bit back and forth. What did you say to him?
We have not been battling at all. That's not been my perception.
I thought you were. I guess I don't get it. Yeah.
Thomas is a horse of a different color, just like me. We're different people, right? And I met him at AHR, and he had all of his badges for his systems, and he geeks out on that. And I got to spend probably 3 hours with him, and I enjoyed my time, and we had laughs, and we ate steak. Thomas must have ate 7 plates at Fogo de Chao. It was amazing. He was enjoying himself so much, and I just enjoyed him as a human being, right? And I don't know if I don't want to seem, I don't know if the word is altruistic, or I'm not that smart, right? Like, I just am able to be around and enjoy different kinds of people. Now, what would I say? Go ahead.
No, well, yeah. What would you say to them?
What would I say to those people? All of them? I would say thank you. I really would. You know, my wife wouldn't say that to you because she's not quite yet at the level that I'm at. I had to keep her. I had to keep her a secret for at least a year from social media. And she gave me a lot of shit about it. She'll tell you the same thing. And about a year into it, she's like, there's something wrong. You're not including me. And I'm like, look, you don't know what you're signing up for. You don't know what's coming when I introduce you to the world. And since then, she's experienced at least 3 death threats herself, okay? And more abuse than anybody should ever have to tolerate online. Like, I don't care what you say about me, but you fuck around with my wife. You just let me see you face to face one day, and let's see what the fuck happens, okay? Because I'm no chump, and I don't play, all right? So you guys keep your talk about me and not about my family.
So Rilla allows you to listen to it's an AI in your pocket, listens to the appointment. It's pretty crazy what it can do. It gives a script, gives everything they said, it breaks down some statistics for you.
Analyze talk ratio, interactivity, like how you and I are interacting back and forth, longest modeling, like all those
Honestly,
things.
this is the shit that I most believe in AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Enhancing the
You're
user
about to put
experience.
math and data around something that used to be my magic skill.
Can I read a few comments about you and get your
That
live
pisses me
reaction?
off. Go ahead.
Can I? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
The first one I've got is, please maintain civil political discourse. Violators will be trapped to a chair and forced to watch Gene Slade reels for 12 hours.
It's awesome.
My next one, Gene Slade is the Weldon Long from Timu.
I love Weldon Long. I just actually listened to both of his books this year while I walk. You know, any comparison to Weldon Long, I will take it, even if it's a little Timu. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Amazing.
I gotta find 1 or 2 more because this is a good section, by the way. If you hate me after this, I'm sorry.
Dude,
I really am trying to.
I'm telling you, you can't hurt me.
Okay. I'm taking that as a challenge. No,
Seriously, man. You listen. You can't hurt me.
Most of these are you.
I will
dude,
defend my
you
wife.
Post in this
right?
group a lot,
but
brother.
There's nothing you can say. I have the thickest rhino skin.
Yeah.
Go for it. Because I want to have a good laugh, man. I have a good laugh about these things.
No. I think that there's just people making fun of you getting the steak for Thomas Pears, and it's like a lion inside of a bull's butt that says Thomas Pears when Gene Slade offers a free steak dinner at the Sizzler.
Yeah. They want to pick on him. They want to bully him, right? And that's par for the course for these groups. And what's like, you know what I imagine? I imagine bullies from middle school, bullies from elementary, the people that bullied me, right? The people that physically picked on me to a point where I had to go learn martial arts. I had to go through boxing classes. I had to become a state qualifying, state placing and ranking wrestler. I had to do kickboxing. I had to do all that shit, right? In order to bulletproof myself from having to be picked on when I was younger. Over the last 8, 9, 10 years, I've gotten all of that training mentally. So, like, thank God I'm at this place, because if I wasn't at this is what God has prepared me for. Because if he had given me this, if he'd given me this amount of tension 2 years ago, it'd have killed me. I couldn't handle it. So everything comes to us in a season as we're ready for it and as we're ready to receive it, if we're faithful.
Okay, I've got on that topic. I mean, the bullying and the people talking smack in groups is like not, it's interesting, and I'm sure some of them are going to watch this, so they'll appreciate me reading a couple of those.
Read them off.
But I think the real concern that I might have here is that some perceive certain sales strategies as unnecessarily aggressive or ethically ambiguous.
Sure.
How do you respond to concerns about the morality of your methods?
Easy, super easy. Come see me. And if in person you still feel the same way, then I'll give you your money back. No big deal. But I still need that polarity. I still need you to question. And you know how many people I've had call me and say, dog, like, I don't know nothing about you, but I keep seeing everybody talking shit about you, and I got to know what's going on. How do I get a ticket to your next thing? Right? I need half of the people in the world to not like me and to talk shit about me in order to inform the other half of the world that I even exist. Because the haters are way louder. Like, you can post something great. I can post a phenomenal success story. I can share with you how I helped one of my guys go from homeless in his car with his wife and his baby, or trying to find abandoned buildings that had doors that they could close to lock themselves in the middle of the winter time in St. Louis. I can share that story, to how now he's got a house that's paid for, 6 figures in the bank, 2 cars that are paid off. One of them's brand new. Just bought his daughter a horse for $16,000 and put $10,000 down on how to, on boarding for the next year. I can tell that story and it'll get no attention whatsoever. 2 fucking likes, 1 comment, which is mine. Right? So kiss my ass if I'm posting stuff that is going to get your attention. It's what you want to see anyways, ain't it? Talk shit about me. All right. Keep my name in your mouth, because I love it. And it's helping to help my people on my team accomplish their goals. And the people that come, I probably shouldn't say this, but 5 stars, baby. 5 stars. If you go and you look, we're 5 stars across the board. We change lives forever. And we make loyal people inside of our organization. I'm going to have 5 people that in the last year have grown to $5 million a year in sales at my next event, just for free, coming to travel to help me convince other people to take the same route. Nobody is creating. You want polarizing? Nobody is creating or can create superstars like we do. Nobody in this industry. We are number 1.
Yeah, I think the idea that you've gotten to a place where
I shouldn't go so. You got me going the polarization route, man. I'm getting too cocky right now.
No, I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's also fascinating. It's hard to, because I have less thick skin, so I am always interested in people that are capable of that. And I just get, honestly, it scares me a little bit.
Sure.
Because it does that amount of intensity sometimes. Like, it can be overwhelming. It makes people uneasy. It makes people uneasy, I think, sometimes.
Can I share with you why I think that is?
Why?
So, and this is, I don't know how many people will be able to grab this, but if you're listening to this right now and you've got the ability to grab a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, I want you to grab it immediately, okay? And I want you to draw 2 circles on that piece of paper that don't touch, right next to one another, okay? And inside of the one on the left, I want you to put what happened. And inside of the one on the right, I want you to put my story. Okay. So there's what happened, and then there's your story. All right. So here's what happens. Something happens to us. Could be anything. Let's make something up. Somebody cheats on you, right? You find out that you've been married to somebody who's been cheating for the last several years. That happened, right? But then there's going to be a story that you tell yourself about that thing and what it means. Because we are meaning making machines. We do it automatically. Anytime something happens to us, we make it mean something. So when somebody says, you're a piece of shit, or you're a scam artist, first and foremost, you got to check it for validity, right? Otherwise, you'll be all hurt and everything. So you got to go, okay, what happened was they called me a scam artist. Do I know that to be true or not? And if it's true, then I'm going to make up a story about that being true. I'm going to accept that as being true. But if I know that it's not true, I have the choice to tell myself a different story. We make stories up about everything that happens in our life. And so it's not like you can't handle all of the hate that I'm handling right now if you're new at it. It's not possible. It will crush you. You might commit suicide. Like, I'm not joking. The weight of learning how to handle it is significant, right? So I'm trying to get back to your question, which was how, to deal with it, essentially. Is that basically what it was again, Tim?
Yeah, I think there's something interesting in there, though, that you said that I want to tease out for a second to kind of round out the podcast around thinking, like, if you believed what people said, that you're a scam artist.
Then it's true. Yeah.
There's some self-hate that happens when people sell something, or even techs that don't consider themselves salespeople, where you kind of got to deal with it within yourself, or else you could end up hating on other people. Like, if you think you're a scam artist, then you're going to start calling other people scam artists or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're not above board, if you're not honest, ethical, and doing shit legal, for sure, you're going to see that everywhere else. And if you're not, chances are pretty good you're going to be blind to it in other areas. That's part of our reticular activating system. You're familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Cool. And just in case everybody isn't familiar with it, like, if I'm not somebody who's constantly taking advantage of people, I'm not looking for that in my world. My reticular activating system is only looking for stuff that supports my beliefs on a daily basis, and it's ignoring everything else in my world and my ecosphere that is contrary to that, or that would prove that wrong. Right? It's almost like this mental bubble that we live in. Right? It's our psyche is it's programmed to only see those things that we believe. Keep going.
Well, I've got one final question for you.
Make it a doozy.
Is Gene Slade an HVAC villain or an HVAC genius?
I'm neither. I am truly. Man, I'm truly somebody who just wants to help people. I've struggled most of my life in lots of different areas. And all the joy in my life has come from helping other people. So really, at the end of the day, that's all I want to do. And if I got to be up in your face in order to do it, if I got to have some shit edited a little bit, polarizing, I'm going to do it. The people that are close to me and the people that'll become close to me soon will know the truth and do know the truth. And my team world class. We built a world class team delivering world class results. And those people who don't join our tribe, when they eventually do, will say, man, I wish I'd done this a long time ago. I have a deep, deep love in my heart for this industry, for all these industries. I don't want to see guys with their backs broken, breaking, dying behind the steering wheel at 7 years old. I want to show them a way to have an amazing life, because that was shown to me. And I've never gotten this emotional on a podcast. But that's me. That's the real Gene.
Gene, I really appreciate you being vulnerable with us. I know it's tough to talk about some of those things. What do you got going on right now in your business that people could join you for?
Well, thanks for giving me a minute to compose myself. But yeah, so there's two things. One thing would be, we do have an event coming up right now, and I don't want to date this show. We'll probably have one coming up in the future if this is dated, but April 5th and 6th, 2025 in Fort Myers, Florida. We're bringing in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, pest control, all of the trades. And we're doing a 2-day class there at the Regal Cinemas. So there's going to be 400 people or so there. That would be one thing. If you can find out about that on any of my socials, if you could just go to Gene Slade, at Gene Slade, wherever. And then the other thing is, if those dates aren't good, we do have a live continuing education class that happens at least twice a week, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week, depending on bonus guests that I have. And that's called the Lead Ninja Mastermind. So anybody who wants information on that, they could comment Mastermind, or you could just shoot over to geneslade.com or leadninjasystem.com to find out more.
Awesome. Thanks, Gene. Thanks for being on. The podcast is put on by hookagency.com, Hook Agency, all over social media. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for watching. And, if you disagree with something, comment below.
Speak up.